well.
We're live, everybody. Just so everybody knows, this is Randall down here. He joined the chat today. He's the one. The links that I have in the beginning of the video, in the beginning of the chat, if you look at those links,
hi everybody.
He's got his Olympic saw. What model's the saw, Randall? What model is it?
It's a 945 AF.
Okay, so it's around 45 cc roughly, and it's just having a problem with the HK carburetor, which is a Tillotson. And I went crazy this week looking for stuff, and I really couldn't find much. So if you guys get a chance, later, whatever, look at those 3 videos I posted that Russell sent me. And if you have any ideas on what may have happened or might have happened, let us know. Throw it in the chat, and we'll see where it goes. But anyway, Stella, what's going on down there? How are you making out with the hurricane stuff down there? You all right?
Me, I'm fine. Like I said, we just had a whole lot of rain. Of course, my backyard was a swamp. And it's finally drying out just a little bit. But I was out of town for the most of it, which is fine with me. I don't want to be around for this mess. So, hey, John. But no, Randall, I was asking you, when was the last time that saw did run well?
That's a good question. I don't recall. It's been a few years. It's probably been 8 to 10 years since I really put it to work. When I first bought it in '85, I was cutting wood to sell, so I was cutting lots of wood with it, and then I could have it regularly serviced. The place I bought it was a local small engine shop, and but then when they here's the deal on that thing. It was a promotion. They were bringing out this saw as this new pro level quality saw at a fraction of the price. And I feel like it was true. That Italian saw, it just it performed very, very well. And I've put a lot of logs through it, and it did me well, more than paid for itself. I paid $350 back in 1985.
That's a lot of money.
That was a lot of money back then.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But anyhow,
so let anyone borrow it?
I see what you're thinking.
No, because those out of alignment, those crooked and wobbly adjustment screws, there's something wrong with this picture here, and I'm just trying to figure out where that came from.
I think I loaned it out maybe one time to my best friend, but he knows how to handle stuff like that. And besides, it wasn't like when I loaned it out and then when I got it back, it quit working. It just, honestly, the last time I tried to use it was about 3 years ago, expecting it was going to work, and it couldn't even get it running, and it was leaking fuel like crazy. The fuel was just pouring out of it, and I thought, okay, this isn't safe. Let's just forget it. We'll use something else. So then I just kind of put it away, and honestly, I was getting ready to just get rid of it. And because of you guys and other channels I've been watching, it got me inspired to save my saw, because it really is, it's got great compression. I know it's just the carb. Everything else, it wants to go. Oiler works great on it.
Well, it's as frustrating as it can be. I mean, I've got this Echo here that I've been putting off for the longest time, and I actually first got a chance to take a look at it, and it's this Echo 351, whatever it is, 351 VL. It's an interesting old saw. It's very lightweight. It's got about 135 psi. But it's got points in condenser. I can't get the carb off without removing the flywheel because there's a screw. It's just like, and I'm going to tell the guy, this is not worth it, because everything that I found wrong with it, the part's not available. Is
that right? Is that what it looks like?
Is that what?
No, I'm looking online. There's a guy that's disassembling a 945 Olympic on YouTube. He has.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But it's showing it. Yeah.
Anyway, I get it. I'm throwing in the towel on this one because every time I go to look up a part's not available.
Well, what's wrong with it? What's wrong with that? Because I got a couple of those. What's wrong with it?
Won't start. Won't run.
No. But I mean, what'd you do? Have you done anything?
Well, like I said, it's got 135 compression. Yep. I've pressure tested the carb. The fuel lines are good. I can't see the fuel filter in there. The
Spark
plug is
good.
wet.
Spark checker.
No, spark checker comes up as yellow, but that could also be just a cruddy plug. So, you know, but it pops off a little bit, you know, about every 5 or 10 pulls, it'll cough and I quit. You know, the guy doesn't want to pay me for 2.5 hours of complete disassemble. Then find out I can't get any parts for it, even if it is, you know, he said, I don't think the piston is scored or anything. I mean, I haven't done any of that, you know, because it's more trouble, more time and more money that I don't think the guy wants to pay for. So,
yeah, that's why I'm working on this myself. It's not worth paying somebody to mess with it.
Absolutely. So, absolutely.
But if I can save it, I'm going to try to save it. And if it's too, I think it sounds to me like, you know, that would you all agree that I'm correct? It's the problem with these mixture needles alignments.
Yeah, if they're not centered, you're not going to get a good flow. I mean,
because how would you
very wrong with this picture?
Yeah, how would it line? I mean, how would it meter properly without the needle being centered in the orifice? You know, it's just going to the side, as you saw in the video. It just kind of stops on the side of the opening to the hole. So
they aren't switched around, eh?
And I was thinking, this isn't some kind of weird design. I just don't know how that would work. And the funny thing is, the more I turned it in, the better it ran. You know, the tighter I turned it down in, because it was limiting the fuel, because it was just getting the fuel.
Because right now it's completely wide open. There's no regulation in it whatsoever. So if you got to go in at all,
Erica, Mickey and Minnie are trying to get to that tractor. I got to get to it pretty soon.
Oh wow!
So, no, just everyone. I don't know if people know. I am like a nutcase for International Harvester Cub Cadets that they made from 61 to 81, and I know everything about them. I used to write technical articles about them. When Lawn and Garden Tractor magazine came out, I was the head technical writer for the first year or so. And
you did the centerfold.
Yeah, and when my daughter got sick, then I stopped for a little while. Then they hired somebody else. Whatever, no big deal. But still, I love International Harvester Cub Cadets, and that particular one in my driveway, a customer, a good friend of mine, brought it by. We sold it to him like 5 years ago, and now he kept it in a very damp environment, so now it's all rusty and stuff. And I'm killing myself because it was such a beautiful tractor. But I think he only wants like $500 for it, and I've already put in probably new battery, labor, probably $200 of mine. So I'm almost tempted to give him the $300. I actually have a dashboard and pedestal in my garage with dual hydro sticks for dual hydro that I can adapt to that tractor to make it a front port hydro, so I can have an angled tilt on my plow, and I could do it that way. So I'm thinking about buying it from them and using it myself. But anything International Harvester or anything with the real Cub Cadet before MTD, I mean, I'm interested. But anything like that, I've had probably 25, 30 of them over the years, and I think I'm down to 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 4 left. So one's in my garage. It's a 1964 or no 63. It's been in my garage for 20 years, and it still runs and drives fine. But you know, like I said, anything International Harvester, especially those are the ones that have the K Series Kohler, was my favorite engine. So I love them. You can't go wrong. And like I said, I belong to different clubs for the International Harvester Cub Cadets, and like I said, I used to write articles. I used to be like almost like an official rebuilder of those things, because people would bring engines to me from all over the East Coast and Midwest to have me rebuild them, and I did that for years. And like I said, when Jessica got sick, I stopped for about 5 years. And then I started getting back into it again. And then Ken's Small Engine was formed. And, you know, now the rest is like history, as they say. But, you know, what are you going to do? Where's the Danish dude? He is at what did he say he was? Hank, where did he say he was going? A comedy club or something?
A stand-up comedy show.
Yeah, some kind of comedy club.
He could come here.
Yeah.
Yeah, really?
Yeah.
We're just full of laughs. Big Bumblebee, go away.
All right, Erica, I got your text. Thank you. Yeah. Well, yeah, he was going to visit, some kind of comic. I asked him if he knew who he was, but I didn't think we'd know. He's a local guy in Denmark to Klaus, so they wanted.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, Arch, I saw your video where you were saying not worth fixing stuff. You know, I'm even refusing stuff nowadays, to be honest with you, because too many people are dropping off too much crap, you know? And then when you tell them how much, they're like, what? Oh, screw that. And it's like, you've already spent an hour or whatever. Mm-hmm. I got a backpack blower right now sitting on my garbage can, just sitting on top in pieces, where my neighbor up the street, nice guy, heating cooling guy. I figured we'll do barter. You clean my furnace, and I'll fix your backpack, like that, whatever. Because furnace cleaning is what, $1.50 nowadays, annual cleaning. So I figured, okay, but it needs a piston and cylinder. And the cheapest piston and cylinder I could find, well, I actually found a short block on eBay for $190. All right, an OEM short block. They usually go for about $300. And I said to him, that's not bad. So I was tempted to.
Well, trade him plus parts. He's just doing labor. Maybe it sounds like a reasonable deal to me.
Yeah, I like bartering. Bartering is fun. Lewis, what's going on?
He's going hunting
season. Uh-oh.
Yeah, Brock's out.
Well, I was gonna say up that way, yeah, probably a lot of good deer up in Michigan. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Ours doesn't start for the general season till the beginning of November.
ours is November, but it starts with was it black powder first?
Yeah, black powder and bow. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, Brucey, you got what, Thanksgiving Sunday, right? I mean Monday.
Yes, Monday. Yeah, we are having our people in Sunday.
Hey, look who's here! I thought you weren't gonna make it, Wayne. What's going on?
You got a little break between the free prelims, so I got a while to come in and say. Hello, everybody.
What are you doing for Thanksgiving? Hello. Anything good?
My wife is presently making a lasagna.
Ooh.
Sounds good to me.
I don't think we're doing turkey this year. We're going to do lasagna for a change.
All right. Now,
Brucey looks like he's going deer hunting.
Yeah. Brucey, are you hosting anything or no?
Yeah, we're having relatives in, and we're doing a turkey.
Okay.
Cream cheese, mashed potatoes,
nice.
Peas, dressing, the whole bit.
Sounds good to me.
What's left in the garden, Bruce? Anything?
Oh my gosh, I got a story. We wanted to stay small engines for the first hour, didn't we?
Whatever. Okay. We basically were talking with Randall about his thing, so we did a lot of it. We can go back to that. Hey, Klaus isn't here to police it, so we're okay.
Anyway, I dug my potatoes yesterday. I dug the last of my potatoes yesterday, and I had about almost 5 gallons, and I laid them out on this table in the backyard to dry because I just washed the heavy dirt off them. And I got up about an hour later, and do you guys know what magpies are?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I looked out the kitchen window, and there were at least 20 magpies, and they had the potatoes scattered all over the lawn, off the table, and they were picking at them with their beaks. And I reacted right away, and I should have waited for Trudy to come out because it would have been fun for her to see it. Not fun. And then I scared them all away, and they only picked at maybe half a dozen of them, but they were coming in for the kill. 20.
Well, they're in the crow family, and they are some smart birds.
They are. Yeah.
Don't push it, John.
Good thing a moose didn't walk in there and eat all them potatoes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We don't have those kind of birds here, but we do have ravens and crows.
Yeah.
But I've seen those.
Where are you actually looking?
Those magpies have the white portion in them, right?
But with white
tail,
wings
that weird tail.
Yeah, I remember seeing a first commercial with those and going, "What did they do to those birds? That's no white on crows."
Wasn't that the cartoon years ago? Heckle and Jekyll, weren't they magpies?
Yeah, the cartoon. Yeah.
So, Randall, where are you actually located on the west side? Where are you?
Oh, California, Central Valley, just south of Fresno.
Oh, okay.
Everybody's moving out of California.
Yeah, so will I be. As soon as I retire, I'm going to Tennessee.
I hear taxes are through the roof in California.
It's a mess here. I mean, it's a beautiful state, but living here, I was born here, and I never thought I'd move from this state because there's so much to see, so much opportunity, but they've just the political stuff and regulation stuff is running into the ground, and we have no water. The water is a major issue, and the heat. We've had record heat this year.
Obviously, the area didn't burn down.
Well, come on to Port Colborne, Ontario. You're welcome. We got lots of water.
You guys do.
I was saying, well, those storms you have back east, you need to just bring some of that water over here because we could sure use it.
It's brutal though. I mean, one little area up in North Carolina got 30 inches of rain over a 48-hour period. I mean, it's like epic biblical.
If it's in a valley at all, it all gets channeled.
Yeah, I've seen the pictures there in Asheville. I just can't believe it. I was just there in June. We went to the Biltmore, and so we drove from Tennessee into there. Beautiful drive, and to imagine that highway we drove on, a lot of it had washed away, and the beautiful town there. It's terrible.
I haven't heard lately, but as of like 4 days ago, maybe 5 days, there were still 200 people unaccounted for, and I'm sorry
that's not looking good.
They're probably gone, and it's horrible. It's horrible.
It is.
William I is from down there somewhere. I think
he's Virginia.
Oh, is he? Okay.
Yeah.
I got a question for you guys. Small engine repair. You ready?
Oh man, go ahead.
First time in 10 years, we actually got a free lawnmower that was left on the side of the road. Self-propelled brute. Said free, new carburetor, new plug. So Jake says, come on, give me a hand. Let's go get it. So we went back there. There it was. Picked it up. Beautiful machine.
That's the black and yellow one, right? The black
but beautiful. High wheels on the back, front wheel drive transmission.
They're nice. Yeah.
Deck, look, no bubbling, looks great, right? And we now get this, we had just for that same house, we had just fixed up a lawnmower for them that the deck was rotted, and it had so many patches and holes in it. I don't know why when they did that one, why they didn't tell Jake, hey, can you take the motor off of this one and put it on this deck, because it's the same deck, it's another brute, but they were throwing it out. So I picked it up, brought it home, no compression, right? But check the transmission works. So anyways, took the head off, figured it's a stuck valve, opened up the exhaust valve, had popped out because there was a mouse nest underneath the cover right on the exhaust side. Cleaned it all up, drove the seat back in with the valve. Now, is that going to hold? Because I just fired it up 3 times, and every time I fired it, it runs like a clock.
That's quantum?
Yeah, it's the quantum. Is that seat going to stay in there, or is that seat going to fall out? You could have just
peened the seat with a center punch, and it won't come out.
Yeah, usually I peen around it.
Yeah, but then, right, I got to pull the valve. Right? I got to pull the valve to get in there.
Sometimes you open the valve diagonal and go in there. It depends.
Yeah, just open the valve and then have a little whack.
I just got to keep on running it and see if it keeps on running and get rid of this thing.
Yeah. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's what I say.
Right. It ain't broke now. Okay, I just wanted to stop and give you a like and say hello to everybody. I'm going to shoot back to the fights.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Take care.
Bye.
My dear wife, she was searching. We have a thing up here called Kijiji. It's like Craigslist, very much the same.
Yeah.
Oh, we have that here. Yeah, we have that here. Yeah.
And she found this.
I never knew how to say it.
We have. She's found a John Deere J45 or 32 or something, big, 7.5 horsepower, overhead valve, self-propel, John Deere, actual John Deere, back in the day when they weren't made by MTD, right? Mm-hmm. For nothing. So we go over and pick it up, and before we loaded it onto the truck, it only had a pull rope this long, right? Whoops, how long? It was tied back in knots. You know how that is. I just gave it a quick little jerk, and it started. I pulled the self-propel and pushed it towards the truck, and we loaded it up and take it home.
Are you going to flip it?
Yeah, not till next January, not till March or April.
Right.
Yeah. So it does need on the 2-speed. I don't like to call them transmissions, but that's what everybody calls them. On the 2-speed rear end, once the cable's jammed, I can only go into second gear. That's pretty cool. That's like a $300 or $400 lawnmower for me.
You can make some good money off of that. It probably won't take a lot to get it going.
Erica sent me a picture. I don't know if you guys saw in I think 2 videos ago. She showed a picture of the lawnmower racing.
Yeah.
The lawnmower racing. And then she sent me here, I'll show you. She sent me a picture of the racer, which is and was freaking out because I'm into International Harvester Cub Cadets. That hood is from a 1965 International Harvester 123, which was the first commercially available hydrostatic lawn and garden tractor. Okay. Nice. And I was like, you didn't mutilate a 123 just to get that hood, did you? So anyway, then she said, look at what she sent me. What's this? And she sends me this. And I'm like cringing here. I'm like, oh my God, what'd you do to it? All right. And then she sent me another one. Yeah. I actually have in my garage a running, it'll still run perfectly, original 123, engine's never been apart, and it still starts and runs perfectly, a K301 Kohler of that exact same tractor, 123. We used to call those seats toilet seats because of the size of them and the shape of them. And if you could find them anywhere, look at the seat. It looks like a toilet seat.
Oh.
It's got blue piping and all stuff. But there's one guy who repipes them and puts them in leather for like $300. But IH, you can't find those seats because they just deteriorate over time. It's a fiberglass seat pan with like vinyl on it with blue piping. It was really cool. But traded in a new 02. Okay, that's all right. But I'm just saying that was the first commercially available hydrostatic tractor. It was 64, 65 is when it came out. And the way that they work, a 123, 12 stands for the horsepower, 12 horsepower, 3 stands for hydrostatic. A 124 of that year, because it was a 3-4. No, it's 2-3 year. If it was a 122, it would have been a 3-speed standard. A 123 is a hydrostatic with a 12 speed. That's the way. See, international is like Husqvarna. Their numbers meant something. So if you had a 102 tractor, 10 horsepower, 2 stands for standard transmission. If you had, there was no the hydrostatic only had the 12 horse for the first year. The next year, they had a 10 horse 105 and a 125. 10 horse hydro, 12 horse hydro. I can go on forever and ever, but I'm saying anything with the international harvester, I know all of it.
Well, back in those days, part numbers made a difference, so you could easily look stuff up because they didn't have the sophisticated search functions in their databases like we do now. So
even Erica was saying, though, people ask her, "Oh, is a 461 a 46cc?" Nowhere near it, you know.
Yeah.
Was that your husband racing that one, Erica? Where you showed it in the beginning, because you got pretty squirrely there in the beginning of that video. Is Tyler driving that thing? Be curious, because I don't know if you guys saw it. I think it was 2 videos ago at the beginning. They showed the lawnmower racing around hay bales, and the one guy's. And I wonder if that
was this week's video.
Yeah. But then she did the one. It was funny. I've never seen in her latest video, the 170. I've never seen a chain bang into the sprocket so much so that it wouldn't go back. I've never seen that before, where it wouldn't go back into the bar, where the bottom, the guide links on the bottom got dented from the sprocket. So they would got all peened on the bottom. It would not fit back into the bar. So, yeah, it's kind of weird. Never seen that before. But anyway, the only thing they do with lawnmowers here, we have pulls, the garden tractor pulls, but the racing I think is more Midwest or maybe Western New York. Here on the East Coast where we are, we don't have a whole lot of that. Yeah. I think you have it down by your way, Stella. I think you have that stuff down your way.
I haven't seen any, but I'm not out there looking for it.
Stable.
Yeah, if you know, you know, right?
Yes,
right.
Stable had a racing series for lawnmowers, a Stable racing series, but you had to have the deck shell on the mower, no blades or anything, but the shell had to be there. And actually, you'd put gauge wheels on it to keep you from tipping over. You know, that would help.
Outrigger.
Cool stuff. Yeah, kind of cool stuff. You know, but so Randy, are you going to buy that other carburetor, or what are you going to do?
Yeah, I think I'm going to get the carburetor and try it. You know, what the heck? It is another $45, I think, is what they wanted for it.
Yeah, plus $100 to go out for supper.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. I've seen carburetors, especially for the Huskies and Steels that are popular. Carbs go for $200-$300 when they're
really
available. Oh yeah. Well,
nothing like the cheap Chinese ones.
Well, you know, the Chinese ones, I'll only put that on cheaper equipment. I'll be honest with you. I can go to my Echo, my dealer that I go to every week. I was just there this morning. And, you know what I found out this morning? My video, what was it, 4 videos ago or 3 videos ago? I replaced a coil on my PAS 266 Echo power head because it was you know. So what I didn't realize was there's lifetime warranty on electrical parts on Echo equipment. Lifetime.
Really? I didn't.
The lifetime of the saw or the lifetime of
lifetime of the equipment. I mean, so the thing is, I said to Ronnie, he goes, "Did you buy it from me?" I'm looking at him like, "Seriously, Ron?" So I said, "Yeah, I bought it from you." He goes, "Oh yeah, we should be able to." He goes, "Take a picture of the serial number and all that." And I looked it up. Where the heck is it? I'll show you. Hold on, Robert. I see you in the basement. Hold on. I took a picture of it this morning, and I looked just to see what the year and everything was. Oh, where is it? And it is 2011. So it's mint condition. I mean, I use it.
To me, that's new.
An hour a year, but I just say it's a $90 coil, you know. So I was freaking out because I had to pay $90, and then everyone came online after the video. Don't you know that that's covered for life? I'm like, no, it's 5-year warranty. Oh no, electrical covered for life. So I looked it up online. They're right. Electrical parts covered for life.
So that's on the Echo.
Any Echo product, they do
Echo with the residential stuff. As long as you're not using it commercially, you get a 5-year warranty, which is kind of nice.
Yeah,
so.
And I thought that was the 5-year warranty. I knew it was
Right.
10 years old, but they said no, anything electrical, they'll except for a spark plug. You know.
Can I jump in on that?
Yeah.
Because about a year ago, we were all talking about this Echo coil that had to have the red leads or the.
Remember the special one you had?
Yeah, that would be one to get from them then if you couldn't. Like none of us could find it. I think we had 30 people looking.
Yeah, I wonder what you do in that case when it's no longer available.
Yeah.
I've actually thrown out Echo blowers that need that coil because you just can't get them.
Wow.
I got one with the red.
Maybe I should call them up for this SB 2100.
Hey, buddy, you want to buy a coil?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, my guy, I've got a good relationship, and he knows I bought it from him. Normally, they would say, need the receipt or this and the other thing. But like I said, we're good friends, and he'll take care of me. But I'm saying if you get one from the junkyard, I'm sure they're not going to honor it.
Right.
But anywho,
so there are some good rebuild kits for Tillotson Randall, or do we call you? Is that what we call you Randall?
No, it's an aftermarket kit that I got for it, but it made no difference. I mean, it had fuel in it. It was that was the problem. Too much fuel. I don't think it looked immaculate when I opened it up. Being 2-cycle 2, it was protected, even though it's still, I did empty the tank, but I don't think I ran it dry last time I ran it, but still it was immaculate inside. And I just thinking, well, I'll change out the gaskets anyway and see what happens. And then it wasn't working right. So I thought, well, I'll put the original parts back in, and it didn't seem like it was making any difference.
Yeah. Now the H&L screws, could they be reversed?
They're identical. Well,
no.
They're not.
One is low and the other one.
The bigger one is on the high speed, and the thinner one is on the low speed. So I've got it right.
Just checking.
Yeah, one is stepped, and the other one is like long.
I mean, to me, it almost looks like the saw got dropped on the screws. You know what I mean? But I don't see how that could happen.
They're not bent.
Well, when the saw is together, it has a shroud that protects it.
That black,
and it's kind of recessed, which always make it kind of hard to adjust, because when that saw is running and you're out in the field and you can't see there, you just have to basically feel. Now it could be, I just thought though, those screws are really close together. And if you don't have your screwdriver right on the screw, you could be turning and sideways on the screw next to it. You know what I'm saying? So the leverage could apply sideways pressure, and it could be over time. Maybe that's just what it was.
No, man, those look identically bent in the same direction to me.
Yeah, you saw that angle I showed, right?
Yeah,
where they're angled. It doesn't make any sense. Yeah. But when I saw that, I've tried everything I could think of, and was reading their service manual on it and all. I even I set the depth of the lever for the needle valve that lets fuel in and so on. And it was off a little bit, but it wouldn't cause this problem I'm having. So, but at that point, I'm trying anything. You know how you get to that point. Well, it doesn't seem like that could do anything, but let's try it anyway.
Right.
So I tried everything, and so yeah, I don't know, but so I guess the next step, I'll get the replacement carburetor. Hopefully it works. I'll kind of vet that out from the pictures, and then
can you still get a replacement, or is it like off of eBay like a
Tillotson doesn't make it anymore, and the only one that it appears they interchanged that sometimes it had the Tillotson carburetor, and other times it had the one we just mentioned. Ken, what was the name of that one again?
Walbro.
Yeah, Walbro.
Right.
It was a Walbro, and it looks like it's the same format and everything where it connects to the engine. And like Ken said, as long as the port lines up for the fuel pump to get the crankcase pressure, then it should be good.
Yeah, you
so
can
that's
see
my next step.
They don't line up. That's weird, you know.
So
Yeah.
Ray asked the question: did someone force a screwdriver between the screws? Yeah, then they would be like splayed out.
They're not bent or anything.
It's certainly possible.
Yeah.
Well, that someone would have been me.
Like
I would have been out in the field covered in dirt and sweating, and you're just trying to make minor adjustments, and those two screws are so close together, and I'm using the factory screwdriver that came with it. It's a real pretty narrow. But if you're not aligned perfectly,
they're not. They will be splayed out, in my opinion, if you try to shove them in there. But they're both like that, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is that a shadow on the top one, or is that a splay?
Hold on. No, the black is the screws themselves.
Yes, but the top one looks.
The top one's almost centered, but the bottom one's way low.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But it's almost
the top one's the high speed, or no, that one's the low speed.
Yeah.
It's almost like it's tapped at an angle or something. It's weird.
Yeah. Oh no, it is the high speed. Okay.
Yeah.
I can see the H there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so that one was the one that was making a difference as I turned it further in, and basically pushing that needle more centered in there, and then it started leaning out to where it ran a little bit more. But
yeah, they aren't set in there, right? Are they? No.
Yeah, I took them out, and then when I took the video, I took the springs off just so that you could see better, and I could turn them in by my finger. But at high speed, I couldn't even go all the way in. I had to use the screwdriver because it has resistance. So my thoughts were, okay, maybe the screws are stripped, but they're not. You see that in the video that they're clean. But the aluminum, it's really hard to tell because it's such a tiny hole. I can't tell. But to me, the threads are.
In there.
Yeah, with it that wobbly, there's something going on with threads. But why they would both be perfectly out of alignment, I don't know. And I don't know how it would run if it was that way when I bought it. How would it have run properly? I don't.
No.
Yeah.
Hey Stella, I want to do a public service announcement about StreamYard.
What?
You sent me that thing yesterday, your screenshot, right? Showing
yes.
you how they're offering you the Essentials plan. I've had StreamYard for 4 years, like you.
Right.
They didn't offer it to me. When I go to I'm going to show you my billing page. So talk amongst yourselves. I'm going to show you my billing page.
Well, I would say pick up the phone and call them and say, "Hey guys, I've been a loyal."
I emailed them and did their chat thing that you're supposed to do to email. You know what the response was? Well, if you want to cancel it, here's the instructions on how to cancel. Are you kidding me?
That's like real customer service right there. Wow.
I was like, are you freaking kidding me?
All the more reason to go to Restream there, Ken.
Yeah, so far, yeah.
Well, I'm gonna have to check that out.
Yeah, no, but when I saw yours, I was like, son of a gun. They gave you the option of going with the $96 Essentials like you had. But you know what I'm thinking, Stel? Maybe because I go on once a week. You never go on using it technically. They figure, we're making money off this old lady here. What the hell? And just take her money.
And it could be because I noticed at the bottom of my page it says like 5 gigabytes of 50 gigabytes used or something like that. And on yours, you're like always up there because it keeps the old ones and it gets for the news. Maybe I don't know. Maybe that's what it was. Who knows?
Just killing me. I don't know.
I'm not using a lot of their resources. Let me put it that way.
Oh, it's true. Yeah.
That's why they offered it to you.
But the lawnmower lady pays for it, so I don't care.
Yeah, but just like I said, 96 versus 435, a little bit of a difference.
Yeah,
it is.
Did the company get bought out by someone else and they're raising the rate?
Yeah, a real weird name.
August 29th, they got bought by some finance.
Something Ducks.
Yeah.
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 Yes, they got bought out, and then hey, we're going to raise our subscription prices. And like I said, I'll stay on there as long as they keep it at that price. And as soon as it goes up, I'm gone. Bye.
Kind of sounds like AT&T.
Yes.
Yeah, that's for sure. You
I
want
got
an
another
AT&T
small
line.
interview. I'm embarrassed to ask this question. I got 2 free quantums this week, and they both have the primer bulb with the hole in the end. I haven't seen that for years, and I got 2 of them with the hole in the end. Or do they all?
I thought they all have the holes. We have to hold
I
it.
did not. That's what I thought. Every quantum I've seen, at least the 5 horsepower and up, had the little vented primer ball.
Oh, okay.
Right in the back of the air cleaner, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are all vent because that vents through that.
All right.
Yeah, because
Here we go. Billing. Here we go.
You know, I've had those before, but
here we
you
go,
know,
Stella. Look what they sent.
not very often you have to change the primer bulb, even if they're cracked.
Here's my billing, Stella.
Yeah, nice.
You're on the annual core plan. Yes. No,
That's
thank
crazy.
you. Yep.
Wow.
And then when I sent him an email saying, look, I've been a 4-year subscriber, all this stuff. You put me on the essentials plan last year, which is great because I only go on once a week. Why?
Right.
And I said, I didn't mention your name, but I said, a good friend of mine went on an essentials plan around the same time. And she got a thing saying, you've been loyal, blah, 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 blah.
4 years.
I'm not loyal. Yeah, you're loyal, meaning you don't use it, you just give them the money. So that's loyal.
Right.
I'm sure somebody who you talk to, I bet you if you talk to somebody else, you'll get a different answer.
Different answer, absolutely.
Well, I sent into the chat thing where they do the chat, and I'll show you the response. This is the response.
You got an AI response, man.
No, the response is, here's how to cancel.
That's AI.
Wow.
So Jason, yes, they do still have the free plans, but you only can put 6 people up on the screen.
Here we go.
Yeah, right.
The essentials. Here's the email sent. Essentials plan, right? And hello there. Thank you for reaching out. Here's how you get the subscription. Oh, so that's all. That's it. That's it. Just cancel. No big deal. Thank you. I don't know.
Wow.
Hi, Steve.
I see on your channel you don't really have anything on your channel. I know you have stuff from like years ago, months ago, things like that. But do you still publish stuff?
Me?
Yeah. No, Steve was asking if you had a channel, and Randall reached out to me privately after attending one of our chats just to see if we could help with this thing. But I
went to Randall's channel.
He's not a regular creator like us.
I saw some old films from '64.
I have not. No, I've not created anything. I started a channel because I digitize a whole bunch of 8mm movies from my family movies growing up, and I wanted our relatives that live all over the states to be able to see them.
So they could see
it was cute.
Yeah. So I edited them and I placed them on there, and then sent the link to the different people, and it really is great because you get that great resolution, and it they host it and it doesn't cost anything. Exactly.
Right. But just remember, once you upload it, they own it. So,
yeah.
Yeah,
I don't care.
No, I'm just saying.
I don't care. In this case, I don't care.
Yeah, we know what you look like when you're 4 now.
You don't realize that.
Yeah. No, I mean, no, I didn't realize that, but
John said it best. You're a creator about as much as Clem is.
Yeah. Now, my wife and I have talked about it. When we decide, when we retire and move to Tennessee, we are gonna create a channel and basically documenting our experience of a typical Californian moving to Tennessee and all the trials and tribulations of getting land and building, and then I'm into
Tennessee, Randy. Why Tennessee?
Oh well, cost of living, cost of living, no income tax, state income tax, and then after you're 60, there's no pension income tax either, and I have a state pension here, so I will be. A lot
of people from Connecticut are actually moving down there as well. Yeah.
You're going to have to get a dialect of that.
I realize that.
We all have accents.
I don't think that'll be hard to do. I find that when you're talking to somebody with a strong accent, you start talking like them. I worked for there's a local theater in town. We were doing remodeling back when I was 16, and they had a relative from Australia that was an expert in casting, and I found myself talking like an Australian. The more I worked side by side with them, it was funny.
So, good day, mate. Good eye.
Good eye, mate.
Good eye, mate. Good eye.
Yeah, exactly.
Stella, you must have been reading my mind, because when he said that, the first thing that popped into my head was "Good day, mate."
That's right. Good night.
Yeah.
Good night, Mike. How about a shrimp on the bobby?
I had that hat on one day. I walked into Advance Auto, and some guy and his son were walking in, and I'm standing there, and the kid goes to the father, "Where's he from?" And I look, I go, "Australia, mate." And I start going on with the accent, and it was hilarious. Went on for like 10 minutes with the guys. Like, "Good eye, mates," and it was hilarious. He goes, "Where are you from?" West Coast. It was funny.
The Australian dialect is almost like an English person with a Western slang.
Yeah. Well, I did work in Charlotte years ago in the 90s. We were going to move down there for work. And after being down there for like a month, I started having that Southern drawl. I would start.
Sound like Stella.
The twang.
Y'all and all that stuff. I would just.
Y'all.
I'd come home like, "Hey, y'all."
Thanks, y'all.
Yeah, I don't think you can help yourself when you hear it.
Right.
It just becomes automatic. Why the straight English doesn't catch on by the others, I don't know.
Yeah, when I was down there, you'd be in a bar and you'd hear you order a drink. You'd be like, "Where are you from? You ain't from around here, are you?"
Hey, are you up there, Mick? Are you around? Put a comment up.
You know, to be honest, when we in June we went to Tennessee and we were there 2 weeks, but there weren't that many people that were speaking with an accent. You know, the Southern. I was surprised.
A lot of transplants down there.
Yeah. Yes, a lot from California. Places we went, they'd say, "Oh, you're the 10th Californian I've seen today." Yeah. You know, I'm like, okay.
It's like Florida. Does anyone ever admit to being born in Florida? You know?
No.
Yeah. I don't know.
Either that or everybody start talking like Charlie Daniels.
There you go. Steve,
well, that's all right.
When was the last time?
It's all right with me.
He hasn't gone live in a while.
I had a buddy when I was in school. Mind you, this was 40 years ago or better. He's born and raised in Ohio. Well, he moved down to Gatlinburg, you know, after he left school. And you talk to him now, oh yeah, he kind of developed that Southern
drawl.
I mean, you can hear it too.
Yeah,
you know, and even with us, you know, like I'm from Alberta, Canada, and I say for battery, I say battery. So there's even that's something interesting.
Erica sent this. The customer says slight vibration.
Well, Eric and I were typing back and forth the other day, and we were going to ask you, Ken, if later on in the stream, if we can start talking about some of the strange things that our customers have done to us.
Hey, Bruce.
Yep.
Real quick, there's a friend of mine I met online here many years ago. She's a retired school teacher. She's from Calgary. She was at the Calgary Board of Education or something like that. That sound right?
Yep.
And I was looking at her profile and I thought Calgary. I'm like, okay, that's two I know from there then.
Right. Well, I'm from Red Deer, just 90 miles north.
Yeah, she's retired.
130 kilometers.
Oh,
Yeah,
Bruce.
she taught for like 40 years. She's retired now, so
We all are.
Yeah. Oh, Bruce, you
Yes,
talking
sir.
about that little hole in that quantum engine?
Yep.
I had a snapper 21-inch high vac. Sometimes it wouldn't start. I would take carb cleaner and stick the tube in that hole and spray it. Thing it fire right up.
Yeah, but you know what I've done too? I've taken my air compressor, put it down to like 5 or 10 psi,
Yeah,
stick
give
it in
it a
that
shot.
little hole, and then it
just forces the gas up.
If the gasket on the bowl is good and on the gasket on the thing, it will shoot. Yeah.
You can blow the bowl gasket right out, though.
Oh, yeah.
that's why you only use about 5 pounds of air to do it.
Well, I did it yesterday just to see if the carb would prime, and it does. But not with a pump, not with the 1.2 tiny ounces of pressure from your thumb.
No,
No,
what?
not unless you either
It's
put
like
turkey baster on it or push it
Yep.
extremely hard.
Yeah.
yeah, some that comes in is with a power bulb. They say you press 3 times, but each time you hold it for a second.
Oh yeah.
So that comes on my string trimmer. I'd have to prime 1 time, hold a second, let go, do it again 1 second.
You get
And
a
the
seal
third
on
time.
the you get a seal
Well,
on the
yeah, because
bulb.
the Tecumseh primers, for the most part, are non-vented. When you
That's
do
Yeah.
it, it kind of sustains pressure.
Sustains the bulb pressure. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I got a
That's how I
carburetor.
prime them.
That's what I do.
Yeah.
Just
I,
What
poke it
sustains?
Yeah, you can't flood a Tecumseh though.
You can't.
nah. Oh, I finally got another carburetor, like what is on my generator, because I found a video on YouTube. The guy showed how to remove the uh pilot jet piece, and he said find a piece of wire, something like on a wire wheel brush,
Mm-hmm.
run through that small hole and
Bread
spray
tie.
car clean through it. But you talk about a small hole.
Yeah.
I'm like, but that wire. Let me show you. Let me flip the camera
I
around.
learned
I
that
find.
trick myself through from James.
Well, I use just old guitar strings, like E string.
Mm-hmm.
That's the tiny one.
I've got 4 or 5 different sizes of those little wire guys.
Yep.
And I just stick them in the back end of a match and a wooden match, and that's
Right.
my little tool.
Yeah.
Yep. Works.
Well, at
Nah.
least those don't break off like a micro drill could.
Yeah.
Yeah, because this
In your
is the
intake
pilot.
of the engine. Oh yeah, that's it.
Or it
Yeah,
breaks
but
off,
see,
or the micro bit breaks off in that. Yep,
That's it.
yep, I had to find
I
a
use
wire that.
a brass bristle brush, a real thin brass. Those are pretty
Yeah.
thick on there.
Those were the
Yeah.
or just get like take off the plastic or paper off of a bread tie. That's the idea as well.
Yeah.
That might be a little too wide to go into that pilot jet for a Honda.
Yeah, and I ordered these. I was thinking, oh, that's thick enough. They're the right size. Wrong.
Right.
Then I found my drill bit kit. I found the smallest drill bit. I'm like, but this guy on YouTube, luckily, he showed how to remove it and what to do. But like I said, because I had to buy this carburetor for practice. So, because what I'm thinking of doing is taking the original piece like this out of the carburetor on the generator and putting this one in and clean the other one and have it for backup. But the thing is, I've got a bunch of stuff to get out of the way to get that piece out.
Right. I thought you had that generator running just running perfect, Robert.
Well, the other day I finally loaded it up. I put my drill, my grinder, and my heat gun on it. I had the heat gun on, and I had the drill in one hand and the grinder in the other. It started running right, but then as soon as I let off,
started surging again.
Yeah, and the other thing is, where's it at?
Well, your grinder and your drill have a pretty heavy inrush current.
Yeah.
So the heat gun is the only thing that's going to be a constant standard load. If you had 2 heat guns.
Yeah. Now, see this little screw right here?
Yeah.
What does that do? Because mine has it on that generator, and I don't know if I need to touch that or leave it alone.
Well, which one are you pointing to?
The one in that doesn't do too much.
No, especially if there's a limiter cap
on it. Just cause a little change in RPM, I think.
And then
that's a mixed screw.
That's your hole right there, yeah.
Yeah, that's your idle mixture screw, but they got it
pilot jet.
You can't turn it.
No, that's the hole. Yeah.
That's hole for pilot jet.
That's where the plastic pilot jet.
Because I was just trying to see that picture.
What brand engine do you have on that thing?
It's a Briggs & Stratton 196 cc. Yeah.
That carburetor looks identical to the one that's on my Predator. I got a Predator replacement engine that's on a tiller. It looks identical.
That's not the carburetor, Robert. Your other carburetor's a Briggs carburetor on that. It's got a hole.
Nah, the carburetor's on the engine on the generator.
Yeah.
Is it this how you pronounce it?
Hooah.
Yeah. I found this on eBay. Like I said, so I have a backup carburetor. But the thing is,
It doesn't look right.
well, the thing is, I'd have to take I had to take the gas tank off the other day. You had to drain it. Oh yeah, and there's something else I got. A
Oh,
Swan Lake liquid transfer pump, battery powered. Only thing is, I don't like about it. There's holes right there. Then it has a nozzle that you can put on it to control fuel rate. But trying to get that hooked to that hose, I'd have to take my heat gun and heat the end of that hose up to slide it on there. But I don't like it. There, lawnmower that Mower Medic 1, he's got them, but his, I looked the price up, $70-some, but you put it on top of a gas can like this gas can right here, and you just do it. But the thing is, batteries. You got two styles of batteries, D or 6 AA batteries. So I just put a couple of D size rechargeable batteries in it because it depends on how often you use the thing. And they say also to wash it out when you get through with it. I mean, that wasn't but $19 on Amazon. I'm like, I ain't gonna be using it that much, but still, it's like you get what you pay for.
Terry
But like,
sells one in his online store.
I still have it where I got to pump it, but it works.
Yeah, I got a little cheap one that a hand pump.
Yeah.
It's handy though.
Yeah.
Especially on the tractors on the other side of the yard.
I had a generator yesterday, and it was a Coleman, and it had it was a Briggs 6 horsepower engine. It looked like a Honda, but it wasn't that Honda style carburetor. It was still a Walbro. And the complaint was it ran, he said, the guy said it ran rough, and there was all kind of gooey stuff around the air cleaner. But he wanted me to get that thing going and also do an oil change and stuff. Well, I brought it back to the shop, and I seen there was oil under the air cleaner, and there was oil in the air cleaner.
Oh, yeah.
So I went ahead and did. I took the carburetor off and everything, and what had happened was, it's one of those generators. It's on a cart like a pressure washer. It's not. You know what I mean?
Yep.
You tip it back to roll it. Like a dolly. I'll bet somebody at some point when they were transporting it laid it on its handle so that air filter and carburetor were pointed straight down.
Right through the valves.
Right.
Right
I gotta go feed the cat. I'll be right back.
I cleaned everything up, and that thing fired up.
Hi, Virgil.
He's hungry.
Air can. Here's a cat.
There you go.
Yeah, Bruce. Yeah,
Yes,
Bruce. Sir. This is the way I pump gas out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you gotta keep squeezing it. Does like the old school boat motors. And I had to keep on and on. It's like I turn the gas tank on that generator is 5 gallons. I'm like, how long is this gonna take? That's the reason I bought that battery power thing and said, we're gonna try that one day.
Get ours like Popeye.
Yeah, like I said, I had to clean this thing out one day. It wouldn't do nothing. The filter on it was so clogged up. I had to take all this hose off and soak the filter in a thing of gasoline just to get all that oil residue out of it. It don't do bad when you got used motor oil, but brand new motor oil, yeah, if you don't clean that thing out. And I found it at Tractor Supply, and they don't sell them no more. I'm like, what? I'm like, I had one before, but the primer bulb started cracking. I'm like,
they go bad.
Yeah.
That would be the ethanol in your fuel that makes it go bad.
Well, ever since I moved here, Stella, I've been lucky. There's only one gas station I know of that does not sell ethanol-free gas. But the rest of them pretty much, Walmart don't sell it. I mean, it depends on how close you are to.
I find if you're near any body of water, you're usually going to find gasoline stations that sell ethanol free to the motorboat guys.
Right.
Well, there's a, not right here in town, but there is a station I know over in the next town that sells 89 octane wreck fuel, which is no ethanol.
Right.
Yeah, I get it. I can get that here. I just go buy it.
Yeah, we
But
saw
I
that in
can't
Tennessee.
readily go get it. I have to get what I can get, and I got a station here in town that I really like. I get the 93 octane there, and it's very low ethanol, and I've never had any trouble with it.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah. But like I said,
Then again,
this
I
gas
also
can
use
right.
the stable 360 too.
Yeah, like I said, this gas can right here, it has some good ethanol free in it, but I'm like, I gotta do something with all this gas that was in that generator, and this gas can still
Yeah, you
got a
can get a
bunch
lot
of.
of gas out of a generator.
Yeah,
No,
well,
put it in your car. Just let it drive.
Well,
You know, your car doesn't care. It has a
yeah,
fuel pump. It'll suck up all that water and whatnot, and it'll actually steam clean the top end of your engine with all that water exploding.
And
yeah,
ethanol in the fuel can answer either question, good or bad, right? Because if you're close to a body of water and you have high humidity,
Right.
the ethanol will take on some more moisture and not float
Yep.
to the bottom of the tank. So, you can fight this argument positive, negative a lot with ethanol.
Well,
yeah.
the thing
Oh,
is as long as the ethanol stays emulsified within the fuel, you're probably all right. And you're in a motorboat, a lot of that vibration and whatnot is okay. It's just when it settles and stops, like in your fuel can, that's the problem.
And in a car, your gasoline is vented from the atmosphere, and you actually get an alarm on your dash if you have a leak in your fuel system. But on a lawnmower, it's vented to the atmosphere right off the car.
Right. And, and mean old Mr. Gravity, he's not going to suck any water up into that carburetor. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
Because the gas station.
The thing that Terrell did on
I did
here a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, I saw that.
The ethanol acts like a sponge.
Mm-hmm.
Or the treatment you put in acts like a sponge. It can only absorb so much, and then it doesn't, and then you know.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Cause I went to an auto parts store in Griffin one time. I found that Mr. Funnel that lets the gas through but keeps the water out.
Mm-hmm.
And I filled it up with water one day because it was dusty. And I looked at that and I'm like, man, they ain't lying. That water would not go through that filter. They call it it's some kind of they give a fancy name for the filter that lets the gas through, but
it's a coalescing filter. What it is the pores in the plastic are smaller than a molecule of water, but big enough to let a molecule of fuel go through. The only problem is when water and fuel mix together, the molecules are somewhere in between. So you have to let the stuff sit and then slowly pour it into the Mr. Funnel. It works fine. I had a fully mixed thing. I poured it in, and it was half water came out. So.
Yeah, because I watched Jake's video from Eliminated Performance on the Mr. Funnel, and he was showing what he was doing.
Too. It failed miserably.
Yeah, well, like I said, now the gas station I used to go to over on Twin Bridges, they had pumps in front of the store, then they had pumps down at the dock. Now the tanks were near the pumps in front of the store, so the gas pumps at the lake they had a long way to draw. Now they sold ethanol free at the dock, but the price, I looked at it and I went back up to the pump in front of the store and I looked at the ethanol free. I'm like, what the price for the pump gas ethanol free on the dock, right there on the lake, was more than it in front of the station. I'm like, what the?
Well,
but then
it's more messing with it. It takes more time
because it was convenient. Because you didn't have to undock your boat to get your fuel.
Yeah, the thing also is EPA guidelines, because the hoses, they had to have somebody come check those hoses every so often because they're exposed to the elements. I'm like, and plus the pipe going to the pump is under the dock, so that's got to be checked, because if he see any leakage, got to fix it.
That's why it's more.
And a lot of gas stations now are going to plastic gas tanks instead of metal.
Well, they're fiberglass here. They're fiberglass tanks, but they have to get them redone every 10 years. That's the law.
Yeah. And the gas station, depending on who owns it, I've known the gas station in Griffin. He wanted to put diesel in, but it was gonna cost him probably at between $30,000 and $50,000 just to get a tank put in to sell diesel fuel. I'm like, yeah.
There's
Big
not much
investment.
demand for diesel around here, to be honest. There's not
Yeah.
many diesel, except for some trucks. There's no more cars anymore. There's no real diesel. Ever since that diesel gate with Volkswagen, they don't sell diesel cars here anymore.
Yeah. Oh, was it? Somebody in the video the other day. What was it? Oh yeah, James Connon on that bicycle. I'm like 20 to 1. The lowest I've ever seen fuel oil mix was 16 to 1. I had a Poland 361 chainsaw. And you talk about smoke. Great chainsaw, but as soon as you let go of the trigger, it die. You'd have to keep your finger on the trigger. I'm like, great saw, but then starter dogs was starting to go out on it because I took it to the shop and they looked at it and said, nope, starter dogs are fixing to go. I'm like, darn it. Thing was a straight ball, but then the guy found a bow from a home light. Like I said, and bow saws, they're hard to find those that run on gasoline. A lot of people are like, oh, I'm just going to get out there and get 3 sheets to the wind drunk and operate chainsaw. Yeah, right. Sorry, buddy.
Yeah, I remember the old Clintons used to have the bow bar.
Yep. Nah, I had them a colored Summer Bear. It was a straight bar. Some guy, they wanted it. So I'm like, all right, fine. Whatever. $20 later, boom. Then he put a bow on it. Then he got rid of it. I'm like, and I remember, I still to this day remember what I paid for that saw back when Lowe's was still in business before they went out. That saw with tax was $254.10 back in the 90s.
10 cents. That's cute.
$254.10. I'm like, but everybody like, oh, you don't need a chainsaw. It's like, if I don't need a chainsaw, it means God made me totally blind. I know what I'm doing.
Hey, Dave, you looking for those? What are you looking for, Dave? Is that what you're looking for?
No, he's looking for the cover. The cover.
Oh, the cover.
The air filter cover.
Oh.
Oh yeah.
I probably threw away 10 of them. Yeah.
I would check eBay or I don't know. I find a lot of luck with Parts Tree.
Yep.
Yeah.
That
and what I like about Parts Tree is they have the
Robert,
real-time inventory online. Everywhere else, you order something and you get an email 3 days later that says, "Oh, sorry, we don't have it. Back ordered."
Jack's engine's good, but I use it mostly for numbers.
Yeah, hold on.
Well, Jack Small Engines, that's what does always to me. You need this one thing, and then you want to order, $50 worth of stuff to get the free shipping, and then you get the email that, the one thing that you need.
Is that the one?
Maybe so.
Oh, that's.
What's that for?
What's a trimmer cover or something? Or this one here? There's not. Amazon has a bunch of stuff. There's a.
Yeah, I don't know. He says for a Ryobi BC30.
Yeah.
Is that a trimmer or?
It's just a cover for the air filter.
No, I mean, is that BC30? Is that a trimmer?
Well, you just do like James Condon and have it printed out. You see that episode where he had his son print out a air cleaner cover? That was cool.
Yeah.
No. It was. If the previous owner had just rotated the recoil 180 degrees the way it's supposed to be, you wouldn't be rubbing the rope onto the cover, burning a hole in it.
Yeah. Well, was that what it was? Because it looked like someone took a saw and cut it.
No, the rope just would burn lines into the cover.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What are y'all's thoughts on this stuff? WD.
What?
Great.
WD-40 specialist carb cleaner.
Well, they're saying, I know our friend Klaus says all the specialist stuff is really, really, really good. I haven't used it too much. I hear it's okay, but it's expensive.
Yeah, I
don't think we can get that here.
Yeah, it's like $12 a can versus like $4 or $5 for the other stuff.
I've not seen it before.
A can of the
I'm paying $7.99 for mine.
WD-40 specialist contact cleaner.
I've got that too, and then I got the WD-40 specialist dry silicone.
Yeah, I saw that. I just bought some new carb cleaner yesterday. And this here, the gum out's about $4 something.
We have to pay
can, and that stuff
$58
was much more, $8 or $9 or something like that.
You got to watch the gum out though. That swells rubber like crazy.
Oh
I
yeah.
just buy whatever's on sale at AutoZone.
Yeah.
And
I buy.
I only use carb spray inside of carbs. Anything else I use brake cleaner for that because of the swelling up rubber business.
Damage,
I was going to ask you about that. Is that interchangeable using carb cleaner or brake cleaner?
Well, brake cleaner is just less harsh on rubber and plastic bits. That's all. I mean, I'm sure if you sprayed a bunch of it in a can and let something soak in it overnight, they would all have a lot of damage. But
I just know gum out and STP carb cleaner really swells rubber.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just be careful with it.
Like I said.
I noticed ultrasonics don't seem like they hurt rubber.
No.
Well, it depends on what you put in them, but no, I put everything. If I have a gasket that I'm having trouble getting off, it goes right in the cleaner. I don't even bother. It'll dry out.
Do you all use ultrasonic cleaners?
Oh yeah,
all the time.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I just did a set of chainsaw bearings today. I took them. It was for a 350. It had the integral seal on the bearings, and I put the assembly together a couple of weeks ago, and it wasn't sealing correctly. I said, let me try it again. But the bearings themselves, it just felt a little crunchy, not bad, but just a little bit. I took them out of the ultrasonic. Oh my God. I was able to take the air hose and like wind them up.
Blow your face up.
Brand new.
Oh yeah. It's like brand new. So it does
and
make
what'd you do? Repack them and put the seal back on?
Yeah. Well, no, I had, I bought an extra set just in case. Originally, when I put it together, I used the original bearing. I popped the seals off, put some other seals. The seals are cheap. Put the other ones back on. But the seals for these bearings are like stamped cage, like cups with the seal molded onto them. And onto the bearing. So good luck getting them off,
Right.
And but I had a set of fairly new bearings, but the seals are fucked up. I said it's a part anyway. I got to redo it. Let me put put these bearings back in. There's 6203 SKF. But
how
when
do you guys do that?
What's that?
6435 or 6-B.
Well, usually on chainsaws, there's only like 4 different bearings that they use in just about all chainsaws. So if you have like 3 or 4 different varieties, you're good. But I always use name brand bearings. I don't use
not for the saw I'm working on.
Yeah.
No. Oh yeah, and I'm like, since I don't have air compressor,
what?
I use this stuff made for cleaning keyboard and stuff on your computer.
Yeah.
That's just kind of pricey. That's all.
Yeah.
The thing is,
works good though.
When I take my keyboard, turn it upside down, shake the hell out of it.
Now, the other day when I was using this stuff, the can started getting frost on it, and I'm like, what the?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's what happens. That's how you can tell how much air is left.
Bruce,
Just like a propane tank.
Remember Brucey? I don't know if you remember Married with Children. The crumbs out of the toaster, that was like a meal. Peg would shake it out onto a dish, like ooh, all the little stuff that develops inside your toaster oven.
Hey, when did this transition happen where you went from using a chemical cleaner to ultrasonic? How long have those been out?
Oh God, 20 years. It's been a while.
A long time.
But they were so price prohibitive. But then once the Chinese started cloning everything, I bought mine 10 years ago for $350. It's a 9-quart or 9-liter. I could buy that same one today for $100.
Yeah.
Right.
I saw.
Jewelry stores have had them for years.
I first saw that being used on one of James Condon's videos. And I'm like, wow, that's a pricey looking piece of equipment. Then I looked it up and I go, oh, no, it's not that much.
Yeah.
Where's that been all my life?
No, that was just talking there that was asking about the ultrasonic. I can't see my screen.
Now, what Vivo makes different sizes of them. I think the big
from 2-3 liter up to 20 liter.
Yeah, they got a great big one.
Okay, who's that voice?
Oh yeah,
and Dennis uses them. Jewelry stores use them.
We used to clean bearings with them years ago. We had a 100-gallon tank, and it used actually Freon TF was the liquid with a vapor zone to keep the stuff from evaporating. It actually had a vapor zone of coils. With,
you could go for a swim.
Cooling water in it, and you'd see the vapors rise up and then condensate and drip back down.
Yeah. And the other day, I finally also got smart. I had bought a cover for my generator, but I couldn't find it, so I ordered a new cover. Keep it covered.
I saw
That was
that.
the problem. That's the problem. Apparently, dust got down in that. I don't know how dust could get down in that power jet over, but I said, I paid a lot of money for that generator. Oh, and I looked up the price of the inverter generators. I seen one for $4,500. I'm like, say what? 4,500. I'm like, nah. But the Hondas ain't cheap either. But I said
No.
$4,500 for inverter generator. I'm like,
Oh yeah, go out and buy the Honda EU 7000i. That's like $6,000 now.
What?
Right, but people
but
are going to blow up their $3,000 refrigerator. There's, the latest and greatest Samsung refrigerator.
Yeah, everything's got electronics in it now, and you get that dirty power coming out of it.
Yep.
It's I had the same thoughts. I got a heck of a deal on a Furman that a guy worked on high speed rail here. He didn't need it anymore, and I got it for $500. And it's a really big one. It's the tri-fuel, but it's not an inverter. And I bought a new MIG welder recently, and I asked the producer of that, hey, can I use my generator on that? And it says, no, we don't recommend any generators on it, but if you do, it needs to be inverter. And I'm like, oh, great. Well, I can't even use it for that. So I guess the answer would be you buy a smaller inverter generator because they're so expensive, but you get a smaller one for your sensitive electronics, and you have the big one to cover everything else, inductive equipment, I guess, because it runs great, electric start and all that,
Yeah,
but a little disappointment.
Well, you can just run all your dumb appliances, but the problem is so many
How many are dumb?
Have all these smart appliances.
Exactly.
They've all got a microboard on them.
If it's got a computer board on it, then it's basically it's like your phone and everything else.
It cost me more money to buy a dumb refrigerator the last time I bought a refrigerator than it was to buy a smart refrigerator.
Stella, though, it'll save you in the long run.
It will. It will.
It will. But you know what? I think every generator is different. I've got it's an 8-horse Briggs made by Coleman, really, and that's got a very clean output on it. So it all depends. Every single generator is different. I've run my computers off that thing, and it's fine.
Right.
But you should put a scope on it and have a look at the sine wave. And,
the other thing that you can do on those generators is you can buy like a small, like office size UPS and put those items that, as long as their surge current doesn't overwhelm that, you can put that into like a UPS, and that will straighten out those ripples and curves. That's another way to do it. But you're just buying more stuff at that point. So
well, and you're limited to your amperage draw also. That wasn't meant to run big things off of.
No.
Because what a lot of houses now, they've got what they call the smart house. You tell Alexa to turn this on, you turn that off, turn this on, turn that off. It's like, okay, we need a backup generator. Well, you better ask questions, because a smart house with everything that Alexa controls.
Yep.
Ouch.
Absolutely inverter.
They'd be better off to go with like a Tesla Powerwall or something.
Yeah. I said, because my sister-in-law's house, they live in Franklin, Tennessee. It has a place for a backup generator, because on the box it has Mid-Tennessee Electric Authority. You shut that off, then you start a generator up.
Josh, is that what you have? The 102?
Yeah. But like I said, the thing is, they made videos on the generators that got what they call a suicide cord. You plug the cord into the outlet on the wall before you plug it into the generator. Because once you got the generator running, you grab that other end. Whoa, what the?
Well, that's not a good thing. That's basically backfeeding your system. That's basically backfeeding your entire house through a 15 amp circuit. So that's not good.
Yeah, well, the people that built the house had this installed, but the thing is, they don't have a backup generator. So the power goes out, that dog creek without a paddle, because they got a high end refrigerator with a
Oh, we lost you.
Hey, Randall, I was going to say regarding the ultrasonic cleaner, the reason I like it is because I clean off all the surface dirt off the outside of anything I'm tossing in there. I toss it in the cleaner for 20 minutes and then I go do something else. And I might turn it on for 20 more minutes and go. So it's more productive for me. It's not like me taking everything apart and cleaning. It's just a time saver in my opinion.
Stella, I clean the carburetor and then I put it into the ultrasonic.
Well, I just clean off the surface dirt, the outside stuff, because I don't want to dirty up.
You don't want to gooey up your solution, right?
No, I don't want to gooey up the solution. So, and I reuse the solution. I run it through coffee filters.
Yeah, I just use the shop towels, the blue ones, in a big ice cream pail. And I just
what do you like to use in the water?
Well, what I use is
everybody's different. That's a big question.
I keep plain old water in mine, and then I use ice cream jars or something like that. So I use pine sol. It's what I do. I use 40-to-1 pine sol. So I always have jars of this laying around, and then I use plain old water in my cleaner. So I keep watering it year round, and then I'll use this and I'll let it settle overnight or whatnot. The next day I'll pour it through a coffee filter and all the solids stay in there. So I just keep reusing the fluid over and over and over again. Works for me.
Me too. I use mean green, but it's the same idea.
Yeah. I saw James using Dawn, but he's used 3 different things. I've seen him use different colors.
If you use something like mean green or ultra mean or something like that, make sure it's got no ammonia in it. It'll turn your aluminum carbon.
Don't use anything with ammonia, but depending on what it is, I mean, if I have something oxidation deposits, I'll use CLR, so whatever, just whatever it is. Or if I got something rusty, I'll use CLR. Pine sol, CLR, and vinegar. Those are my go-tos. Vinegar.
I did my silver with Dawn. This is silver from my metal detecting, and I did it with Dawn.
Yeah, I mean, Dawn is good. Dawn cuts grease really well.
I wash my hands in it, and I tell you, it's the best hand cleaner I've ever had.
Yeah.
Yeah, what?
Randall.
Yes.
You were talking about, I discovered this, and I've told these guys that I actually use my ultrasonic for chains.
Yeah, you can do that.
I throw my chainsaw chains in there before I sharpen them because I want to get all that crap off of there before I put them on the machine.
Yep.
Because that way it won't boogie up your wheel, all that crap on them. And if you get one that's a bit stiff, say it's got a little bit of rust or something, and it's got them things bound so that the chain won't flex that easy.
Right.
That ultrasonic heat in the solution, it loosens that right up.
It's amazing how much crud you get in the bottom of those ultrasonics when you don't think what you're washing is that dirty.
Right.
Yeah.
Because it's the ultrasonic sound. It's like many teeny tiny microscopic bubbles that are just bubbling away everything.
Yeah.
It's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
It is pretty amazing. When I saw that, I keep referring to James because I first started seeing this because of James' videos.
First contact.
And exactly. And so when I first saw that, and he does the time lapse, and it shows it just bursts, and you see all this stuff coming off, and I'm like, wow. Wow, it's like a million little brushes scrubbing it, even inside.
That's exactly what it is. Yep.
Which is, if you're doing it by hand with a solvent, you can't get brushes inside those little ports and so on. But you put it in that, and it's actually cleaning it from the inside and the outside.
Yep.
And so that makes sense. I definitely got to invest in one of those.
Most ultrasonics, at least the ones that most of us here use, they're heated.
Oh yeah, and it helps. You heat it up. I run mine at about 55 or 60 Celsius, which is pretty hot. It burns my hands when I stick my fingers in there. But yeah, you keep it hot. The hotter the water, the better the cleaning that comes out of it. But no, it's the best. It's the best purchase. It's one of the best shop tools I ever bought. Let me put it that way.
I empty mine right out after I'm done, Stella. But when I heat up the juice, I come in and use the stove inside the house, and I heat it to 70 degrees Celsius.
Yeah, you can do that.
By the time I run out to the garage and pour it into my ultrasonic, it's down to 55, and then I turn it on, and the heater brings
Well,
it
you
up.
said it's just something that goes on in the background while I do other stuff.
Yeah,
I turn it on and I go do something and come back 20 minutes later. Then I put my stuff in, and
I've done a few videos with that thing buzzing in the background, and of course people will notice that.
Well, if you have a good microphone, it'll. If you have like a noise canceling on your microphone, it'll. I do a lot of video. I know, Bruce. You can
costs
invest
money.
just a little bit, you cheap.
You know what? I'm not a tightwad anymore, but I've developed a reputation. Thus,
They must not be that cheap if you got one of those ultrasonic cleaners.
Well, I got it.
I want to say
my subscribers have sent me a lot of stuff too, and it's like Ken sent me a lot of this stuff over the
years. I want to say that those run at. I want to say the frequency. I want to say is 40 kilohertz.
I have no idea.
I thought it was 60.
I'm gonna put my meter on it. I got a frequency.
Well, what you do is you're gonna pay more money for an ultrasonic cleaner with more inducers on the bottom. So you can get like a cheapo one that's only got one inducer. I think mine has two. Okay, so it's going to create more of those ultrasonic waves. And if I was going to buy another one, I would not buy the cheapest one I could find out there. I would buy like the medium price one.
There we go.
Yeah. What was it?
20 to 50 kilohertz.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's just past the human ear.
Well, that's just past the audible range.
Yeah. 20K is what a 7-year-old can hear.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm down to 12.
I'm not hearing 20K these days. I know for sure.
You were born in 1960, weren't you, Ryan?
The way that your ears hear it and the way it sounds on a video is like two different things altogether.
Very different. Yeah.
Yeah, because
to me, when I am using mine and I hear it running, to me it's just a hiss. If you listen to a video of it, it sounds like an AM radio that's out of tune.
Right.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And the other thing about some of these cleaners, depending on what cleaner you got, I think Zep makes a cleaner that they say you do not use on aluminum. But
right.
That could be.
Purple power you don't use on aluminum.
Purple power is real bad.
No, but I got this stuff that I like. I got the Simple Green Aircraft and Precision Part Cleaner.
Oh, of course.
And I've done carburetors in that. As a matter of fact, I just did one a couple weeks ago from a GCV or a GX200.
Yeah.
It was on that gold dredge. The guy just replaced it for him, but I kept the old carburetor and I brought it home here and I did clean some of it manually. But then I threw it in the ultrasonic, even though the carburetor looked clean. I threw it in that ultrasonic for 20 minutes. And I'm telling you what, there was stuff in there that I didn't know was there. That water got dark.
Well, I have used just regular old Simple Green, but it really discolors carburetors. It turns them all like chalky, dark charcoal.
Yeah, but Brett's airline stuff would definitely have to have nothing like that in it because everything in a plane is aluminum.
I threw that Honda carb in there, and I mean it. When I got done, it looked like I just took it out of a box.
Interesting.
It looked brand new.
Yeah,
I'll look that up. I mean, I just like the Pine Sol because there's enough. I think there's just enough solvent quality in there. I mean, it's not going to take a carb that's been sitting with bad fuel for 25 years. It's the stuff that's anything that's like lightly varnished, it'll break that down. But because there's enough solvent quality in it. But the Pine Sol, I love it.
Smells like my grandma's house.
I love the smell of it. But Pine Sol took the pine oil out of it a few years ago, and I understand they put it back in.
Yeah, they did.
Because
they call it Sol.
Well, because pine oil is more expensive than the man-made stuff.
Right.
Because I've seen two different versions of Pine Sol. There was the yellow, and now they got some kind of aqua green looking Pine Sol. I'm like, but I said, we used to. Now I worked at a restaurant, and every other Sunday the guy would have his people come in and strip the floor in the restaurant area and re-wax it. But the kitchen area, there was a certain part that had the same tile. I would have to wait till one guy left because the cleaners I used, he was that sensitive. But I didn't know about LA Totally Awesome until I went to Dollar General. I'm like, oh, try this on the floor. I spray it on the floor,
Good stuff.
and I will
Caustic.
Yeah, I will wet the floor with a mop with hot water. Let it sit. Come back. Look, brand new. But like I said, they couldn't wax that part because it being in the kitchen. But I'm like, but the guy that owned the restaurant, he had this company called Echo Lab. He had these different cleaners and stuff. I would, because I was at them about keeping that restaurant, especially the bathrooms clean. I'm like, but the kitchen area, you talk about grease.
Grease
It's like
everywhere. Slippery.
The air filter, the air return for the air conditioning system. Those filters, I'm like, that filter's through. But one day he went in there, the filtration system for the vent hood. He had his company come out there and clean it, but they got to the point, I don't know what happened, but he decided that this guy brought his North Star dual temperature pressure washer out there. So we cleaned them with a pressure washer. That thing, boy, I tell you what, that joker didn't play. But he put them back in, and one day he's like, something ain't right. And his daughter looked up and they said, Dad, you put them back in wrong. So he had to go back up there and redo them. But like I said, I've never been in such a greasy kitchen. I'm like, the grease is just everywhere.
Ken, if you could blow my screen up, I found this for Stella.
What?
That cleaner.
Hang on a second. Let's see.
There you go.
Yeah. Green aircraft. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'll give it a try.
Yeah.
You don't got to use that much of it, Stella. I just use because I got a 3-liter machine. I only used maybe about 3 or 4 ounces of it.
Right. Well, I do the Pine Sol like 4 to 1, with the water, and then and like I said, I like the little jars, so I keep just plain old water in my cleaner all the time.
You wouldn't even need that if you're just doing that.
No.
Just maybe a couple capfuls in your jars.
Yeah.
Well, I'll give that a shot. See how it goes. I just like the smell of Pine Sol.
What you think of it. I like it.
Yeah.
No. And I've seen people, they would put the parts in a jar, then put gasoline in there, and then they set the whole jar inside the ultrasonic cleaner. I'm like,
yeah, I've done that. I've done it with
I've done that, but I find that it still doesn't work as well as another cleaner, some detergent type cleaner that has either Dawn or Pine Sol or something like that in it. It's just not as good.
I used to take barium and carb cleaner, put it in the jar, a peanut butter jar, and then put a little carb in it, seal it, and dunk it in the water and let the ultrasonic, and it works.
Well, I think it's because Dawn and them, those cleaners have emulsifiers in them, and I think that's where. And then you figure it's got the emulsifiers, plus you've got the agitation from the ultrasonic.
Yes,
that's where they shine. That's where they work the best.
What?
Oh yeah.
These came out of the Pacific Ocean, guys. That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
right?
They look good.
They do.
And they were
what is it?
Right, Bruce?
Jewelry from my.
Jewelry.
Metal detecting.
Yeah, he goes into Mexico and does metal detecting on the coast.
Yeah.
In the beach.
Yeah,
they say there's a place down in Mexico where a man can fly over mountains and hills. He don't get in there.
It's not really fun because it's like gardening. Every time they think beach, you got to dig a hole.
Yep. Yeah.
Not that much fun, actually.
No, was it? I remember back in the day they had that Palmolive commercial with old Madge. She's talking about, you're soaking it. These women, these beauty parlors, they'd have their fingers stuck down in Palmolive dishwashing liquid. I'm like, that was back in the 70s or something. I'm like,
black and white.
Well, they listen. Oh yeah,
Palmolive.
You're soaking in it, Madge.
Oh yeah, Randy. One of your former Californians is living in St. Knoxville. That guy called One Road.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he does. I said, but That's just crying shame. Pretty soon, the whole state of California, it's gonna be empty. It's gonna be, where's everybody at? Oh, they just.
I know. Anybody that works,
Yeah,
all the working people are leaving.
But like I said, I've got a 22 horsepower Kohler Pro Craftsman GT tractor, California, but you can't have that. It's a miracle they don't kick Burger King out, because Burger King is the only restaurant that uses natural gas fire to cook burgers. You can't have a fireplace in California no more. We're burning fireplace.
No.
I figure everybody in California must be sick, because you look at the label and it says you can use this everywhere but in California.
Yeah, it gets very tiring.
Strange.
And then they want to, the scary part is the stuff they do here, it spreads, to other states, and so you try and get away from it, and these people that are created the problem, they move because they can't afford to live here anymore, but they take their ideals with them and ruin it where they're living. And I know you guys don't talk politics. I'm just saying that where I live, it's a more conservative center of California, which is pretty rare, but most of us are in the same boat, that we're just tired of being the minority here in our way. We think things should be run, and it's been a long time with no changes, and unlikely it's going to change here, because the large population centers make all the decisions.
Yep.
On their parts diagrams.
But what is it?
Speaking of weather, we had 26 degrees Fahrenheit last night.
Ooh,
26 degrees.
Good.
Wow.
That's too cold.
It froze from 3 o'clock last night till 9 o'clock this morning. It was below freezing. That was our first killing frost.
Oh yeah, Bruce. I looked up where they filmed that video, Live as a Highway, by Tom Cochran.
Oh yeah.
And he ain't too far from you, in the Badlands.
Yeah, that's about 2 hours from here. Yeah.
But
life is a highway all night long.
But I looked.
Sorry, Ken.
Wax actually remade that song.
Yeah, because I asked Google. I said, Google, what car was used in that video? And they had no knowledge of it. I said, all right. I said, Google, show 1965 Chevy Impala. Boom, that was that car. That car. But the video, it keeps showing the color of the car, but it will look different. The only color that stayed the same was the interior, which was a black, and there was a rag top. I'm like,
different lenses.
Yeah, but they say that place, man, you got stuff that look like Grand Canyon and stuff.
I worked there it was in my area, right? We worked from border to border, and I spent 9 years of my life in Drumheller.
Yeah. Oh, and my granddaddy, he worked for Brunswick Pulp and Paper. Well, one time he had to go to British Columbia to work at a pulp mill for a while. But he had.
We got trees up here.
Yeah.
Trillions of them, literally trillions of them.
Yeah. I said my granddad had 1963 Chevy Impala, red with gray interior. I told him, said, please don't ever get rid of that car. He bought it brand new in November of '63, but he turned around and sold it to somebody for $700. I'm like,
I was 9.
I'm like, God, mighty boy, I could not believe that. Man, I love that car. And they had a '64 Chrysler New Yorker. The worst car they ever bought was a 1972 LTD. I'm walking home from school.
That's still in the good years, though.
Yeah, I was walking home from school one day in Brunswick, and this car pulled up at the corner across from First Baptist Church. And I looked, I'm like, huh? My dad was in the front, my granddaddy was in the back. They just bought it, but the worst car they had was a '78 Thunderbird. Me and Grandma we went to see Granddad in the hospital in Valdosta, Georgia. We came back out like somebody took a softball in dead center of the back windshield. Yeah, Grandmama closed the door, drive side, whole back windshield.
From the air.
And then they had there was a certain paint job they did on those that didn't last long. But the 76 LTD, I liked it, but that 72, I think that was the same car they used in that one of the Dirty Harry movies. Yeah.
So I'm sorry, Robert. Michael Roberts is talking small engines here.
Well, he's trying to find a belt. I don't know what belt he's looking for. He's got a 102 John Deere, like an LA 102, with a bagger on the back, and he's looking for a belt. But which belt is it? All right, it's a main transmission belt. Okay.
And if it's John Deere, you have to buy a John Deere belt. You cannot use anything else.
Yeah, hold on.
As far as I know.
You can, but it doesn't work well.
I've got 2 John Deere lawn
tractors. Get you, they make them proprietary, so you got to buy their parts.
Yeah,
there we go.
It's like buying from Nortel.
Yeah, that guy, Real Man Skills, he did a video on his John Deere 316. He had to replace the various speed transmission belt, and I told him, I said, "You very lucky your PTO was side mounted," and I told him that, and it also looked adjustable. There's those 3 adjustment points on it.
I gotta grab a bite to eat, you guys. I'll be right back. Sorry.
Hey.
I had an interesting one the day before yesterday. Guy brought a Time Master in. He just bought it not long ago. He got it. And, well, the story was he bought it off of a guy at Tractor Supply who bought it himself. It didn't run. He put bad gas in it. He took it back to Tractor Supply. He got his money or whatever. And Tractor Supply sold it to the guy that brought it into me for $750. Well, I got it running the first time around for him. He calls us earlier this week, said he had a belt issue. So he brings it up, he brought it in at the end of the day, so I put it in the shop. So I wanted to see what was going on. So I started it up and I engaged the blades. Can you say howl, screech, clank, done?
Yep.
It wasn't the motor. What had happened was one of those idlers for that timing belt exploded.
Yikes.
And when it done that, the blades come out of time, they hit together. I'm like, oh shit. I took that plastic cover off the top over the belts, had to use a vacuum cleaner to get all that out of there, cleaned all that out, and come up and said to the boss, I said, this guy's got issues. And I said, I had an idler just explode, and I said it just wiped out his blades too. So had to get 2 new idlers, 2 new blades, and I went ahead just to be safe and put 2 new blade adapters on there that go under the, between the blade and the spindle. Got him fixed up. But I think the next time that I ever go to do one of those things, rather than get those original Time Master idlers, I'm going to get that kit you see people upgrading to that's for the Turf Master and the X Marks. You get the 2 pulleys, you get the bolts, you get the washers, and you also get a new bracket that the tensioner rides on. It's about $150, but you figure a $1,600 mower, and those are metal idlers, not plastic coated.
Yeah,
it'd be worth doing it.
Oh yeah,
and it's not the Chinesium stuff either.
Oh, cause what Gag, it made a version of the Time Master, but they say that thing weighed a lot more than the Time Master. I'm like,
well, DR makes a version of that Time Master. It's called the SP30, I think is what it's called. And I was watching a review on it, and I guess the handle and everything on that DR is really, really, really chintzy, cheap plastic stuff on it. It's like, and you're paying a lot more money for a DR than you are a Toro.
Yeah, because I was trying to find a belt for my DR Ranger chipper, and they finally emailed me the owner's manual. I had to get somebody to print it for me, but I'm like, what it? I had the Troy built wide cut. There was 33-inch. This was back before Troy built got bought out by MTD. but the blades on that thing, if you hit a rock, you destroyed it. And it had that timing belt on it, and it had an 8-horse.
8.5 horse Briggs, if it's the one I think it is.
Yep.
It's kind of got a dual deck underneath of it.
Yeah, because I said
33-inch. That was made. That was when Troy-Bilt was owned by Gardenway.
Yep. When I bought the thing, they brought it to where I worked. Got it off the truck, looked at it. I'm like, one of the tires that done got ripped. I had to call Troy-Bilt up and say, one of the tires on my mower done got destroyed somehow when y'all put it in the crate or whatever. They sent me a new tire, but that you talk about multiple leaves up. That thing didn't leave nothing. I had to take it to the shop one time and had the engine worked on, but I sold that thing for $200. The guy destroyed it. I'm like, you got to be joking. Oh, they still make them, but now
I couldn't believe that brand new Time Master though this week. I can't believe that idler blew up on a practically brand new mower.
Yeah, well, that's what these companies are starting to go to the cheapest outsourced manufacturer of certain parts. You got to look at lawnmower. What is made in-house and what's outsourced? I know the engine and the transmission, but what else is outsourced by other companies?
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, I just saw Walmart is selling a mower that's self-propelled for $28.
You're kidding.
Can you believe that? $28. That's their, all Amazon and Walmart.com. They're all having these special deal days, like up to 60% off. And I don't know the brand, but $28 for a self-propelled mower.
Oh yeah.
Well, I would say, I mean, I can say, and I was talking to somebody about this morning, I have less and less people bringing me stuff to fix because they're all either going battery or they're getting disposable stuff.
Yeah, good was it?
Yeah, that's true. Everything going to battery and all that because of the the EPA's they're wanting over here in California, they want to eliminate everything gasoline.
Well, I think I've probably got 10 more years of fun and games, and that's it. I'm throwing in the towel.
And it's ridiculous because everybody's going to be complaining when it goes to all battery. Once those things go out, the batteries are expensive.
Yep.
They don't last very long. They never last. They never run as long as they say they're going to run. They don't have the power. I mean, they're nice. Homeowners works good for the homeowner because you're not doing this for a living.
Sort of.
And but you might buy one today and you don't use it maybe a handful of times through the year, and then 2 years later, you got a dead duck and you got to buy a new one.
Now, would you be able to use that battery on something else if it was a cordless lawnmower?
Yeah. Well, I mean, and a lot of people do that, but again, I'll admit I'm a tree hugger. I'm right there. But the problem right now is until we are finding a way to provide power to recharge those batteries with either solar or wind.
It's the same.
We're just kicking the can down the road. We're not saving the planet. Believe me.
Same thing for electric vehicles. It's not the answer. It's not the answer. When in California where they won't build anything new to produce power unless it's like windmill, wind turbines and that such solar. But that's sorry folks, but when the sun goes down, you got the cloudy days and such, you're not gonna have it. And so you got to have something. We used to have coal-fired cogeneration plants, and they went to natural gas.
Yeah.
And now they're putting a bad name to natural gas, which is absurd.
I can't believe they're doing that. If we could get the whole world to use natural gas instead of coal. I mean, China, India, Africa.
And the thing is, we have a lot of natural gas here in California. We have tons of it here, and yet they're basically in some areas, like in the Bay Area, they've banned all gas appliances. You cannot have gas service to your new home. And thankfully, I don't live in that area. Oh, yeah.
So I'm sorry, where are you? Where did you say you were in California?
Central California, the San Joaquin Valley, near Fresno.
Yeah, all right. Yeah.
And we're the kind of conservative center of California here.
Wow.
Well,
You're
not in
I like
Bakersfield.
cooking with gas, and I don't want to buy an electric stove. And when I move, I see that natural gas is not real common supply in Tennessee everywhere, but I'll get propane because I want a gas stove. I don't want electric. And they're pushing that here. They want everything in your home to be electric.
Well,
And
everything in
including
my
your small
house,
equipment.
everything in my house is natural gas, with the exception of the refrigerator, and my washer. And I can run my entire house off of a Honda EU 2000.
Oh yeah,
You got
and that's
you got a
another
gas
thing.
dryer too, huh?
I have a
Yeah.
gas dryer. Now, I can't run air conditioning.
So do I.
I mean, obviously that, but everything else, heat, refrigerator, and I turned on every single electric device in my house. Fans, light bulbs, blah, blah, blah. And I was pulling like 9 amps on one leg and I don't know, like 14 amps on the other. It's just, I just don't have that big of a draw in my house.
Oh, and that's another thing I thought about California. You know, you got all these railroad companies, and I have seen videos of engines going down the track. All of a sudden, you don't see nothing but black smoke billowing out of the exhaust, and all of a sudden, you see fire coming out. Like, yep, that engine's fitting to go bye-bye.
Well, but you see, that's diesel exhaust, and that will settle onto the ground. It doesn't go up in the atmosphere.
It's a thicker molecule.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Which I don't
Yeah, but they
understand
made it
why
tough
you
on
have to
diesel
have
engines
diesel
here,
exhaust
too.
fluid. I don't get that.
yeah,
They've made emissions levels requirements so low. Truckers that come into California have to meet their requirements to be able to truck things here, and so that's another reason why everything costs more, because the truckers like, well, I don't need this. I got enough work in the rest of the country, so
That's
I'm
right.
not gonna come to California.
And all the guys that work in the oil field around here that use the diesel 1 tons, right? The 350s.
Right.
They're doing the deletes on that stuff that you have to buy the extra fluid for.
Right. And
They're doing the delete, and they're actually getting better mileage. And I would think
you
in the
do
long
get
run,
better
they're getting better
mileage.
pollution too.
But around here, you can't get your vehicle re-registered, or you can't renew your tags with a diesel with a DEF delete.
So what here, the only thing that happens is your warranty's no good. You can still sell the vehicle, but
right.
So these guys, 5,000 miles after or kilometers after their warranty's up, they're doing the deletes.
Yeah, I in a way I wish I could do that with my Sprinter van, but I'm okay with it.
Do all the diesel
But you're not
engines
using
there
that much
where you
fuel.
guys live require the use of DEF?
Yeah, mine does.
Yep. And the other thing is, ever since the deregulation of the natural gas industry, everybody and their brothers coming in, oh, we'll say you this gas for this per BTU, and then some people like, then all of a sudden
my natural gas is $1 a day, and the network charge to connect is bigger than the bill.
Yeah, usually. And for me, I'm getting 22 miles to the gallon on my diesel Sprinter, so I'm okay with that.
Right. And my old truck, you guys all know about my old truck, right? It's 27 years old.
Right.
It's the most efficient, clean vehicle you can buy because the pollution's already happened to build it.
Right.
The payments are done. The truck is old. Parts are easy. And I only put 2,000 kilometers on it a year.
Yeah.
So it's very,
it's
very
almost
efficient.
as old as me.
Yeah.
But there was a guy because there was a guy one time I heard he bought a Ford pickup truck from a Ford dealership. Well, he had issues with it. He took it in and they looked at the fuel. Sir, we can't work on this truck because it has off-road fuel in it. He argued with them like, I don't know what. And they finally said, okay, we'll work on it. It's got off-road diesel in it. I'm like,
okay. Oh, like farmer diesel.
Well, they put a dye in it, so you can't use
red diesel.
Yeah.
Who cares?
They have that here too.
They do that to kerosene too here, Stella.
Yeah, they do it to kerosene here because I have a kerosene heater that I heat my little shop with, and when it's really super cold in the winter. But no, I'm happy with my, Sprinter van. It gets, like I said, like 22 miles a gallon. I mean, it doesn't get that when I'm driving 75 miles down the road. I mean, I keep a speed at a regular, and I would probably get better mileage if I had cruise control on it, but I
can
don't.
get 100. I can get 20 miles to the gallon with my 350 old Chevy.
Yeah.
If I don't put my foot in it.
Right. Yes. Absolutely.
Yeah, good was it?
And Frank loves
Oh,
it, right,
and,
Bruce?
Yeah.
Oh, and
You know what?
thing about
No, sorry, Robert. That damn truck of mine is more popular than I am.
Yeah, Frank. I know. It's a good truck.
yeah,
He's in every video, every single video.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's sitting back there.
Bruce, where'd you say you're
sitting
at?
in the back watching.
Alberta, Canada.
Oh, Canada.
I'm straight north of you guys and a little tick to the east.
Right.
Yeah. Good was
So
it?
it's a 9-hour
When you said how
drive.
cold it was already, I'm like, wow, you gotta be really north.
Well, think about this one. It's a 9-hour drive to Helena, Montana.
Wow. Yeah, you are well
Dude,
north.
I named my old Craftsman snowblower. I actually named it after Brucey's truck. I call it Frank. Old Frank.
Yeah.
It's all right. Mine is Vanna White.
Yeah.
Different dress every day.
Yeah. Vanna White from Wheel of Fortune. Mm-hmm.
That's right. What's a white van? What is it? What do you call it?
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna head on down the road. We're gonna all load up in Vanna. Carmen's gonna ride shotgun.
Well, there's only one other seatbelt in there other than me, so it'd be kind of tough.
Oh yeah.
Well, Carmen, she don't have to worry about the seatbelt.
No, man, she did pretty good this time around.
Oh yeah, Stella. How far were you away from Asheville, North Carolina? Because they said Helena tore.
It was bad. No, I was actually in Tampa of all places. I drove down to Tampa like in between the two hurricanes, so I was down there. No, it was, I can't imagine going up to Western North Carolina right now. My neighbor across the street, she had 2 goats and she moved up there. And she had to put one of her goats down because he got all kinds of parasites from the floodwaters. And so she brought the other goat back here. So it's back here across the street. So kind of sad.
Yeah, because they sold Chimney Stack, North Carolina. And there are places that people can't get out. The bridges are just like, where's the bridge at? Oh, it went way down the river.
Yep. Yeah.
Now I said that's just Then here comes Milton, because that other guy I follow on YouTube, Kelly, the monkey with the wrench, they got lucky.
Right.
Well, I said, I've been through one hurricane in Jacksonville, Florida back in the 60s. I don't remember it, but most of the hurricanes now are going up in the Gulf. Very few of them.
I take all of it very seriously. I was homeless for 6 months after Hurricane Floyd. So I'm like, It's very scary to me. I have a lot of PTSD about hurricanes. So
I'll take our earthquakes over those hurricanes any day.
Yeah, they're terrifying, and actually now what's happening is all the tornadoes that happen. You used to have Tornado Alley out in the Midwest, and now there's tornadoes here all the time, even without a hurricane. So it's bad.
Yeah.
Hey, folks, I'm going to have to go. Thank you for having me, and I'll get back with you on if I get success with that other carburetor.
Yeah.
Randall, we want to see that new carburetor. I want to see that saw just purring like a kitten.
Well, I do too.
Or roaring like a lion. I guess, I don't know. My metaphors are
then I'll hook up with Ken and we'll get back on here.
All right. Sounds good, Randall. Take care.
Randall, what's your channel?
Oh, I don't have an active channel.
Oh,
so
okay.
Oh, you do. You got film from 1964.
Yeah, I've got family videos or movies from 1960s and 70s. Yeah.
Okay, so it was actually filmed on a true movie camera then.
8 millimeter.
Well, his are 8 millimeter, but I'm just saying.
Yes.
That's pretty small.
It was 8 millimeter. Bunch of reels of it, and then I bought one of those devices that it actually takes a picture of every frame and then digitizes it. And
you got a nice scratch there, by the way.
What's that?
Your shop looks nice behind you.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I'm into everything, so you'll see a little bit of everything in here.
Unlike this chaos.
Including you mentioned something about garden stuff. If you see here, you see that?
Oh,
All my seed starting stuff. My friend, he comes up the driveway and he says, "Oh, are you starting to grow your own?" And I go, "No, it's not pot. No, this is just my vegetable garden stuff." But I'm into everything. So
me too.
we got an 80. Shoot, it's probably 86-degree day right now, but we've been 110. We were
Brutal.
several days 110 plus, and so being in the 80s now is like really cool. So when Bruce, when you said it was that cold overnight, I'm like, wow. Yeah, it's too warm to plant things here still for the fall crops. It's
we don't have a fall crop.
But yeah,
our ground freezes 4.5 feet in the winter down. Frost in the ground.
Wow. No, I was born here, so I couldn't handle that kind of cold. I don't like the heat, but because
that's why I go to Mexico for 3 months.
You don't get used to the heat. It's hot as hot, miserable.
Well, Randall, I'll tell you, the heat and humidity where you're moving to is going to be even more brutal than the heat where you are right now.
That's
Just keep that in mind.
It is.
Yeah,
drip off your glasses.
Like I said, I was there in June, and I did.
What are you doing? Oh, there he is.
Some of that humidity. Yes,
Yeah.
we are dry, but when it's 110, 12, 14, we still have you beat when it's 80 degrees and 90% humidity. It's still miserable hot.
I went to Mexico in August one year, and I learned all about humidity and heat.
It's bad. But today's beautiful.
Yep.
72 degrees and 60% humidity. It's great.
Good.
We're 54 degrees Fahrenheit right now.
We'll see you next time.
Bye, Randall.
Take care, Randall.
See you, Randall. It was fun.
Good meeting you.
Yesterday morning here in Ohio, I come downstairs and I knew it was cold. Now I'm going to feel cold quicker, because of the warfarin. And I threw a jacket on and went to work. And I got in there and it had made its way into me pretty quick. And I'm like, oh. So I had to run back to the shop and grab my other jacket and put it on over top of what I had.
You take rat poison.
Yep,
actually pretty cool here this morning.
I have AFib.
What temperature is it where you are in Mississippi?
It was 54 when I got up this morning.
Well, that's what we're at now. That's what we're at now, John.
That's a thing of beauty.
Yes, it is.
Yep. Yeah.
I'll see what it is here. I can look.
I should show you guys the potatoes that the magpies are raked over.
Well, you can still eat around that stuff. Don't worry about it.
Oh, yeah, we're Trudy's made potatoes today, and she cut all that bad stuff out, and then we just have a nice big bowl left now.
Shotgun to take care of that problem.
Not in the city.
Oh, nobody will know. Nobody will tell on you.
Yeah, right.
Maybe a pellet gun.
A pellet gun, but when the local constabulary shows up, it's like, ooh.
No. Are you shooting a gun? No. I was using these 22 blanks for putting Hilties into my floor.
Yeah.
Nah.
Get you a silencer for your 12 gauge.
I've seen a picture of a 50 caliber pellet rifle. I thought I had it made. I had a 177, but somebody took it, and I got a 20. But a 50 caliber pellet rifle, I'm like, yeah. And if anything can live through that, well, it must be tough. But I've been told when you go to shoot say an armadillo, you gotta know where to shoot it. The 22 will bounce off of it. I'm like, yeah, okay, yeah.
I don't know. Why do you shoot armadillos? They're all dead on the side of the road.
Not down here, they're not. They're in your yard tearing it up.
They must do a heck of a damage to your suspension if you hit one of them, eh?
I know.
Oh yeah.
So what do they do? Do they burrow in the ground like groundhogs or whatnot?
They're hunting grubs, and they dig about maybe 4 inches down, but they go through the whole yard doing that. Looks like a war zone when they get finished overnight.
Well, I guess that's good aeration for the soil, right?
Yeah, I aerated a few myself.
Not not to mention armadillos look like speed bumps.
They are like
Yeah.
speed bumps. We don't. There are some now in North Carolina. There didn't used to be. I've seen a few on the side of the road, but they're all over South Carolina.
I'll bring you some.
Oh man, I was driving through Georgia when I drove out of Florida and into Georgia. I looked up the side of the road. I'm like, what is that? There's like feral pigs, like on the side of the road. There's a whole mess of them.
They're feral hogs.
Yeah.
Wild hogs.
They're costing the agricultural communities billions of dollars from Saskatchewan all the way down to Texas.
Plenty down here.
Yeah, they were all black, and I could actually see their big, tusks sticking out.
Tuscuses.
Tusks.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Nah, I remember one time that guy on that restaurant, he had trapped armadillos.
Oh, I thought you were going to say he serves hog.
He trapped it in a cage.
All right, 2 hours is up. We're going dark.
Everybody have a good evening. I enjoyed it.
Thanks for having me, Kenny.
Sorry, my camera's not working.
That's all right.
Why's your camera not working, John?
We got
I haven't used it in about 3 months.
Well, there's